Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Howdy, y'all. red.olaughlin here. We're on the Talking Heads portion show today on the USA Global TV and Radio Network and on the E360 TV network. Our show, let me get my slides lined up here so we can get that part going quickly. We're talking about how to optimize our health, primarily for 2024. We started this last month. This is February. Actually, we started in December. And there's a lot of things we can do, but you got to get your mindset around it first, and then everything else flows fairly easily. I'm a researcher, not a doctor, not any way, shape, or form connected with the pharmaceutical industry. I fell in love with chemistry in high school, and I use that knowledge today to explore the human body at the cellular level. And I like for cause and effect relationships. Treat a cause and you can fix a problem. Treat symptoms and you'll always be treating symptoms because you haven't addressed the cause of the problem. I believe our health and our wellness are our responsibility. This presentation, as always, is always for education purposes only. For some, it may be awareness, first time I've heard about that, or nice to know a little bit more about that. So with that in mind, we had many things we've talked about already. You go back and catch our shows on the archive, on the YouTube, USA Global TV portion of YouTube, and go into the archives and you can find all the shows that we've done. But we talked about our subconscious mind, aligning our mental health, the decisions we are role planning, diet, fitness, all that kind of stuff. We started last week or 2 weeks ago on diet, nutrition. What kind of choices do we have? And we're going to finish that up today and jump into organ health. We talk about having a healthy gut, a healthy heart, a healthy brain. But in reality, there's a lot more to it than that. And then hopefully we will finish that today or come very close, then get into the last couple topics, and then maybe one last one on a quick summary. So that's where we're at. We're finishing up on our diet, our expectations that we have with regard to our diet. Most of the time when we use oils, it's a canola oil, a sunflower. It's a vegetable oil. Vegetable oils, they're not bad in themselves. They're an omega-6 oil. They're essential. They need it. We need it in our body. We can't make them, so we have to get them from someplace. But the problem is we get too many of them. And when you get too many of them, they become a problem, mainly a problem with inflammation. Now, I personally like coconut oil more than anything else. Everywhere in the world, the coconut oil was the primary oil, whether it be palm oil in Nigeria or coconut oil in India, it doesn't matter. Those oils are saturated plant oils, and they were very, very healthy. In fact, I think there's like 5,000 autopsies done in Nigeria and looking for heart issues with regard to the kinds of things that we see in the United States. And I think 1 out of 5,000 had a heart issue, and they've been using saturated plant fats for decades, for generations. Anyway, they're healthy. But it's not something that we have. In the 80s, they kind of gave it a bad mouth because saturated animal fats were on the no-no list. And they said, well, it's saturated oil. Well, plants and animals have different kinds of saturated fat. Anyway, limit your saturated fat. It's just a good idea in general. Same thing, avoiding trans fat. I would really look. We don't get our vegetable oil so much from what we're cooking. We get it mainly from the foods we're eating, especially if you're eating out. Read your labels, see what's available in there. And then a lot of your restaurants, almost everything there is going to be some kind of vegetable oil. That's a big risk. What else? Snacks. Why do we snack? in your snacks, that's probably our biggest problem with any kind of processed food is that, yeah, you have the sugars in there, but you also have the fats. And between the fats, the calories associated with that, the health aspects of the calories, just everything in there is saying, do I really need this? And why do we do it? Is it because we're really hungry and I have to have something and I'm not going to be eating until later? But why are you craving a snack? And if we can answer that question, then you can maybe change part of your rationale. Well, I'd like to have one, but I don't need one. Or if I'm going to have one, just have a bite and let the rest of it go. I've mentioned this several times on a lot of different shows. Switch to smaller plates. I've switched years ago to a salad plate for eating. That's all I have, one serving. And you're cutting down on the total amount of calories that you're bringing in. If you're looking for options for junk food, well, nuts are pretty good, excellent in many, many cases. Fruits, again, look at berries more so than the other kinds of fruits that are out there. If something's in a package, it should be saying avoid big black flashing lights. But do you have to avoid 100%? No. Avoid it 95%? Yeah, that's 19 days out of 20. That's not too bad. You can celebrate one day every couple of weeks. Okay, biggest problem that I think people have is they read a label, they don't read all of it. They get a label and there's too many things in there. They don't understand the words. That's a problem. They don't understand the serving size. Okay, this thing says it only has 130 calories in it, but it's 16 servings. They eat the whole thing and they get 16 times 130 calories. A lot of issues on what you're reading. There may be sugar may be listed on your label in 4 different names. And if you're not aware of that, you're actually getting a lot more than what you don't want. But the serving size is critical. The names are critical. Same thing with fats. You can call a fat several different things, but those are things as you become more aware of what's on a food label, maybe help you make better decisions. Timing. In our Western society, we hear the saying, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. In Eastern society, I don't care whether you have breakfast or not. It's not important. We wake up in the morning. Most of the time, we're dehydrated from sleeping. And the first thing we want to do is rehydrate, but we start eating and we have our coffee, whatever else we're having, and the food to go with it. So I'm taking care of the biological response to my dehydration. I'm addressing the habit of having breakfast every single morning before I go to work. But those issues are issues that can be addressed. You know, if you had the first thing you had in the morning was a tall glass of water, and then, am I still hungry? Well, you probably find out maybe you're not. And now it's just a habit issue more than anything else. Blood sugars, you know, if you're constantly on a high carb diet environment, switching into a ketogenic diet where most of your calories are now coming from your fats and your proteins, you're going to find that blood sugar is no longer a major issue. I was reading an excellent article yesterday on berberine and how it works almost like metformin with regard to losing weight and adjusting your insulin response. Lots of things with berberine that's worth considering. Fasting, we could probably do 6 weeks on fasting, but intermediate fasting, extended fasting are 2 things that I talk about all the time. I think it's one of the healthiest things you can do, primarily because autophagy starts at about 18 hours of fasting. So if you're on an intermittent fasting program, you're fasting 18 hours and then eating for 6, you're at least allowing autophagy to start. Now, what is autophagy? It is that program that we have in our body that says, after so many hours, I'm going to start sending the trash trucks and the recyclers through every aspect of our body. It's going to go into all the blood veins, all the capillaries, go into all the organs, all the muscles, everything that we have. And it's going to start knocking on every cellular door and saying, you got any trash to get rid of? Okay, fine, dump it over here. You got anything to recycle? Yep, let's see what we got. And then they recycle everything and give it back to the cell. So it actually makes the cell a healthy, almost brand new cell again, because it gets rid of all that garbage that's generated by just normal cellular activity. It peaks out at about 100% at 72 hours. So fasting, if you can do an extended fast, you will really allow autophagy to help. Dr. Walter Longo, University of California, I think Southern California. Anyway, he came up with a 72-hour diet that really reflects in your immune system, that after everything is cleaned out, your immune system really is all over again, brand new from scratch. If you go 120 hours, 5 days, then you start looking at rebuilding the beta cells in your pancreas, and they've had a lot of success with reversing type 2 and even type 1 diabetes in animals. So it's something to look forward to. As we fast, our human growth hormone is replenished almost at our teenage years or earlier. Metabolic control is in balance. So many things happen with fasting. It's unreal. It really and truly is one of the best things you can do for your body. Now, by fasting, I mean water, unsweet tea, unsweet coffee. That's it. No food whatsoever. Okay, here's something that I've been wanting to get into for a while. Last year, 2023, Stanford University did a study, and they looked at the aging of organs. And we don't really even think about that. Let's say you're 50 years of age. And okay, my brain should be 50, my heart should be 50, my pancreas should be 50. But in reality, organs age at different rates. And if you look at the cause of disease beginning at the cellular level in the body, chronic low-level cellular inflammation is the genesis of almost every disease. So if I have a heart or a lung or a kidney that has a constant low-level cellular inflammation, I can have that inflammation progress days, weeks, years over time, and I'm not cleaning anything out with my autophagy program, then I'm going to start looking at oxidative stress. I'm going to start looking at other pathways that disease can develop in my brain, in my lungs, whatever it may happen to be. I have a problem that's beginning, but even if I had the equipment and test available, I couldn't find it. So it goes on for another year or 2 or 3. Maybe it's big enough to see if you had the right equipment. But again, you don't even know it's there. There's no symptoms that you have until it finally gets big enough, golf ball size, baseball size, it doesn't matter. It gets big enough to impact the organ that you're in. And now all of a sudden you go in for, I've had this problem now for the last 16 weeks. It won't go away. Okay, fine. You get 6 months to live because of whatever. That's not what we want to hear. But Stanford found out that by looking at the proteins in the body, every organ generates a certain dozens, hundreds of different kinds of proteins. And when they're healthy, these are the proteins that are generated. When it's not healthy, these are the proteins that are generated. And so there's been very high level of sophistication in being able to analyze through blood testing. Okay, this says you have a really aged heart, but all the rest of your organs look pretty good. So that concentration now can be on the heart health as far as anything else. So what we're going to look at is what are the different organs. I have, I think, 11 of them listed there. Your heart, your fat. Fat is an organ, especially if you're obese. Lung, kidney, immune system as an organ. Liver, your muscles as again, an organ. Pancreas, your brain, your vasculature, your blood vessels, and your intestine, your gut. So in looking at these things, the study found that 1 in 5 people, 20%, had organs aging faster over 50, at least one organ. And over 50, that's a problem. 1 in 60 people had 2 organs aging faster than the rest of their body. So if their age was 50 and their heart was aging faster than their brain and their liver and their pancreas, that's a problem. But if your brain and your heart were both aging faster, that is a major, major problem. So what's happening is they're finding out that when you start comparing the chronological age of the human to the biological age of the individual organ, that as soon as you hit 50, your increased risk of, you're like at 50 to 65, okay, I'm going to retire at 65, and all of a sudden you're not there. Statistically, if you make 70, you'll make 80 because most people don't make 70. So that horizon from 50 to 60 is where you see a lot of that increase in risk of all different kinds of diseases. And so the organs, they just continue to age at their own rate based on how healthy they are. But we have control over the health of each one of our organs. That's what we do. So if I want to look at my organ health, I want to look at what are the things that affect my ability to accelerate the aging process. I know in my book, Longevity Secrets for Healthy Aging, I talk about the entire body of being able to control how fast you age or how slow you age, because there are certain factors. When you look at human growth hormone, you look at the telomere at the end of your DNA, those are all effective indicators of how fast your aging process is or how slow you can take it down. And you do have control over that. But if I'm looking at my other factors that I have, if I have hypertension, if I have diabetes, these two factors just by themselves increase the age of our organs significantly. And when I look at the proteins that are being generated by a diseased heart or diseased brain or diseased liver, I'm seeing these things pop up, and they're popping up fast enough that you can actually do something with it. So they're taking this information from the Stanford study and they're using them as predictors for potential new drugs. But we have options, natural options, that I think are as good or better than most of the drugs out there. So if I let's look at our brain. Well, what do I need for a good brain health? Well, it's more than a couple things. If I'm looking at omega-3, well, our brain's almost all omega-3. It's a massive amount of our brain is omega-3 fatty acid. Iron, vitamin B12. You're deficient in B12, it mimics Alzheimer's. Vitamin D, needed for a lot of things in the body. Zinc, vitamin E, 8 different molecules of vitamin E. One of them, I believe it's alpha tocotrienol. If you literally just have just a scant amount in the brain, it's been shown to provide protection against stroke so much that if you have a stroke, that you almost probably have no side effects from it. At least that's one of the studies I read. Magnesium used in almost every aspect of the body. Calcium, vitamin K, vitamin K2 particularly. Selenium, your fish oils, again, your omega-3s. Resveratrol. Again, anytime you're using a resveratrol, make sure it has a black pepper extract in it for higher absorbability in the body. Caffeine, acetyl-L-carnitine. Phosphatidylserine is one I love. It's one of 4 phospholipids the body makes. It passes through the blood-brain barrier. And I told a story about my brother-in-law, a Catholic priest, turned 70 and started having problems with early onset Alzheimer's. Before he could retire at 75, the Alzheimer's got so bad he could no longer be a pastor of his church, could no longer say mass. He moved in with his youngest brother. We put him on phosphatidylserine. It's a pill. Your body makes it, but it's a pill. You can buy it. And within 30 days, usually it's 90 days, but within 30 days, he could not tell you what year it was, but in 30 days, he could tell you what was on TV last night, what he had for breakfast, what he wanted to look forward tonight to on TV. It was like a light switch went on. But with any kind of disease, there's more than one pathway. We control the pathway of the phosphatidylserine not being made adequately in the body to provide it to the brain. But as soon as you control that pathway, there's another 8 or 9 or 10 pathways that are also moving toward dementia or Alzheimer's or something else. So you have to look at everything. And that's why we have all of these things on the slide. There's more than one thing that you need to know about. Ginkgo biloba, adenosine methionine, SAMe. That's a wonderful molecule. But our coffee, blueberries, turmeric, again, turmeric, make sure you have your black pepper extract in that. It's probably one of the most potent anti-inflammatories in the world. There's only one I know that's even stronger than that one. But it's a very, very valuable molecule at the cellular level in the body. Broccoli, any kind of cruciferous vegetable. Dark chocolate, absolutely. Nuts, ironically, oranges, your citrus family is very good. Eggs, and one of my personal favorites is PQQ, Perilla quinolincanone. Most of the anti-inflammatories are molecules that go down and provide an antioxidant, provides an electron to neutralize the inflammation. Some, like vitamin C, I think can regenerate 6 times. PQQ can be regenerated 25,000 times. It's almost like an army of one that can be constantly regenerated. Passes through the blood-brain barrier, and it's just active ingredient in the brain. It's in parsley, it's in green bell peppers, it's in a number of things, but you can also buy it in pill form. So moving along. I said fat cells as an organ. Our fat, as we get enough of it, actually becomes an organ in the body. It has its own mind, everything that's going on. It amazing. So what's good for our fat cells? And believe it or not, there's actually a lot of things that are healthy for our fat cells. Coconut oil, they call it medium chain triglycerides. Omega-3 again. not omega-6s, that's the ones that's inflammatory, but omega-3 is your fish oils. Caffeine, eggs, green tea, uh, EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, is one of many catechins in the green tea. But there's a lot of teas out there that are very healthy, oolong and pu'er and others. So your teas are very, very important. Whey protein, apple cider vinegar, chili peppers helps metabolism a little bit. Olive oil. Make sure it's a good quality olive oil. But if I'm feeding my fat cells, I want to feed it with a high quality fat. And our fat cells, whether I'm 13% body fat or 33% body fat, I want to make sure that I have a healthy fat in them. Nuts, eggs, cheese, full fat yogurt, avocados, peanut butter. Those are all very, very good, high quality fats for the body. And you don't have to be obese to be feeding good fat cells. Lungs, something we use every day of the week. Your basic vitamins, C, E, all 8 of them. Vitamin A, beta carotene, sodium, magnesium, selenium, milk, again, whole milk, your eggs, your cheese, your dairy products. Again, a wide variety of meats, a lot of different proteins there to feed the lungs. Nuts, dried beans, peas, leafy green vegetables. Exercise, because you need that oxygen flow in. Toxins, whether it be from the foods we're eating, the skincare products, your personal care products, a lot of ways that we can add toxins to the body. Pollution, what we breathe, what we touch, what we wear, and hydration is super critical for the lungs. Those are things that we really need to know about. Kidneys, fish, apples, believe it or not, has a unique molecular structure in them that helps the kidneys. Blueberries, again, raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, kale, spinach, your other cruciferous vegetables in there. Sweet potatoes, low phosphorus, cheese, leafy greens, shellfish, not just regular oily fish, but shellfish. Your vitamins B1, B2, B3, B6, B3 also. B12. B12 is a unique cobalamin. If you're having B12 as a pill, if it's going into the gut, it's not going to survive your stomach acid. You have to take the B12 under your tongue. So if you have B12 in the vitamins you're taking, make sure you buy a separate B12 to take it subliminally under the tongue. Your other B vitamins, folates, niacin, pantothenic acid, biotin, and low dose vitamin C. And one of the healthiest things you can do for your kidneys is avoiding processed food. Those are the things in your cardboard packages, anything that's in a glass jar, whatever. If it's processed to any degree at all, the extra chemicals added in there can raise havoc with the kidneys over time. Let's talk a little bit about the liver, something super important to all of us. Coffee, tea, grapefruit, berries, grapes, beetroot juice, all your cruciferous vegetables, nuts, your fatty fish, olive oil, ginger, something we hadn't talked about before, garlic, chia and flax seeds, seafood, cacao, dark chocolate. When you're talking about your liver processes everything you have. So if you're processing sugar, you're processing particularly high fructose corn syrup. That fructose is almost like a poison to the body. That liver has to get rid of it. So you really need to avoid anything that's a high fructose or high sucrose environment. Your inflammatory foods, anything with your high omega-6s, your carbs, processed foods, all of them. Alcohol, again, is like a poison. It is something that the body has to get rid of. So you have a couple, 3 glasses of wine after dinner, your digestion of your meal is going to go on full stop until your body processes all the alcohol out of the body. And then boom, now your digestion can start again. So if you've ever had a really big night, a lot of drinking, and then all of a sudden at 3:45 in the morning, you wake up wide awake and you're wondering what's going on, it's because all that alcohol has finally been processed out of the liver. Now the liver can start enjoying the digester. Your body can start enjoying digestion again. And that's when things wake up. Sometimes you get right back to sleep. Sometimes you can't. And so that's part of the problem. So here we are. Immune system, lots of things there. Zinc, we talked about fasting, but zinc, selenium, iron, your vitamins D, C, That's D3, C, your 8 vitamin E's, B12 again, fish oil, protein, any kind of meat, and your plant proteins, your berries, your spinach, mushrooms. We hadn't talked about that before. A lot of benefit in mushrooms. Garlic, your folate, your B vitamin, tea, curcumin. Again, make sure you have the turmeric and curcumin are the same. Make sure you have the black pepper extract. Leafy greens, carrots, something not mentioned before. Eggs, yogurt, probiotics. Again, we're talking about our gut. Our gut health determines what our whole body is. Citrus. Exercise, weight management, quality sleep, all help along with fasting to improve our immune system. With that being said, I'm going to leave the immune system and jump down to the end here. And we've talked about many things. Go to the archives list on YouTube, and you can catch everything we've talked about before. Tomorrow morning on, it's all about their books is a new show on USA Global TV and Radio Network. I'll be on at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, and I'll be talking about my book, The Joy of Ageless Health. It tells you how the disease starts in the body and what you can do about it. With that, I will hope to be able to finish this program up in 2 weeks. And until then, I bid you adieu, and we will catch you all later on next week. Take care. Bye now.
This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. Building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had a trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, BSC.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we've evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today.
USA Global TV and Radio, in partnership with Dr. Jacqueline LLC, present Amazon #1 best-selling author, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is a certified life, career, and executive coach who teaches people how to listen at an elevated level through her courses and her books. Dr. Kerbeck teaches her clients how to open their hearts and express themselves through their creative genius. In her children's book series, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the listening mentor, Dr. Kerbeck teaches children and their families how to listen at an elevated level. Dr. Kerbeck has worked with clients across the world to guide them in how to express themselves and communicate at a highly effective level. Join our team of elevated listeners so you can listen without judgment, without providing a solution, without interruption, and without stealing the stage. To order your books today, go to drjacqueline.com or Amazon.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
I just can't take it anymore. I am so tired. I am so frustrated and burnt out. Why won't anyone listen to what I have to say? Yet I look on social media and everybody's smiling and having a great time. Meanwhile, I feel totally alone with my world rushing by. Guess what? Great news. You have a choice. You can change the dynamic by learning how to listen at an elevated level yourself through the power of listening educational courses. Can you imagine from where you are today to having a life overflowing with abundance? It's possible. Learn how to listen at an elevated level. You'll have deeper connections, better relationships, and more authentic conversations. Start today. Go to usaglobaltv.com, education, and learn how to listen. We have courses and children's books. Let's work together to learn how to listen.